So what's it like to be an Avalanche fan? In the matter of about an hour, we went from having pretty much a 100% healthy team to another player being possibly out again. Pretty much par for the course. What's going on, Avalanche fans? It's the Locked On Avalanche podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Chris Maselli, with another episode of the podcast dedicated to your Colorado Avalanche. And on today's show, the carousel of craziness continues as players are coming back, and then another one might be out. We don't know that for sure about the player, which is Nathan MacKinnon, being out. But we went from good news to bad news in the same hour. Thus is the life of an Avalanche fan right now. So we'll talk about that. We will talk about one of those players that is supposed to be coming back, Val Nichushkin, might have some other problems that he has to face, not so much in the NHL, but with Russia. So we'll discuss that. And then on top of players getting healthy, more moves have been made by the Avs. Players going down, and then another highly touted prospect coming back up for another shot. So we'll get to all of that and wherever else it takes us. But first things first, obviously, thank you for making this your first listen of the day. It is always appreciated. You can follow the show on social media outlets, LOPN_Avalanche on Twitter, Locked On Avalanche on Instagram. Questions, comments, concerns, opinions, go to lockedonavalanche@gmail.com and follow the show's channel on YouTube. Just search for Locked On Avalanche. All right, and before we get into anything else, I do want to announce that there likely will not be shows Friday and Monday. There's a possibility that there might be another missed show in there on Thursday. I don't know yet. The reason for it is my wife and I will be celebrating 10 years together this week. And for those that don't know, I now reside in New York State. But to celebrate, we are going to travel back across the country and celebrate in Colorado. So we are leaving Thursday morning. There's a layover somewhere, but we will be making our way to Colorado for the extended weekend. And I will be going to Ball Arena on Saturday for the Avalanche Sharks game. So super excited about going there. And because of it, I don't want to bring all my recording equipment because it's, going with my wife for our anniversary. I don't want to be recording shows that entire time. So because of that, there likely won't be shows Friday and Monday. Possibility there might not be one on Thursday. I can't say for sure, but very much looking forward to heading out there and definitely seeing the Avs in action in Denver. So that's what's coming up for the rest of the week for me. When I am there, I don't know who's going to be on the roster because it's just a revolving door of injured players leaving and then healthy players coming back. And we started the day off yesterday feeling good because Jared Bednar went on his weekly radio show on Altitude and announced that he fully expects Makar and Val Nichushkin to be back in action for Thursday against Vancouver. And then within the hour, it was also stated that Nathan MacKinnon left. I don't know if he left practice or after practice. Something happened to him in the morning. I think I don't remember if it was the lower body or upper body. Does it really matter? Just the fact that we went from Makar and Nichushkin And then after that, who are we waiting for? I think we're on pretty good level here with those two guys coming back, and now we got everyone. And then it's followed up, and this is nothing Bednar said. Bednar didn't say that on the radio show. It came out after the fact that MacKinnon tweaked something. Don't know the severity of it. He's getting checked out, and we didn't hear anything else the rest of the day. Now with Wednesday, they don't play Wednesday, obviously. You weren't really expecting them to say anything else unless it was like dire. So we'll see if he's at practice on Wednesday, and then we'll take our chances on Thursday. But I mean, being an Avalanche fan, you just have to throw your hands up. I mean, aren't you used to this by now? Does it not surprise you that we were that close for maybe 45 minutes? We were 100% healthy. That was a good 45 minutes. And then we get another player is injured. Not, and I don't want to go to he's going to be out or he's going to be on the IR. But being an Avs fan, like, this is the crap that we're used to. And you can say he might have just tweaked something in practice, but an Avalanche fan just fears the worst and just says, okay, he's going to be out for a little while now. Because when does it ever work out where he just had to leave practice early because he was a little, had a tightness in his hamstring or something like that, and he'll be okay? Nope. It's always going to miss a game or two, or he's day to day, or he's week to week. I don't want to go there right now with Makar, with MacKinnon. But, and it's got to be him, right? It's got to be him. I don't want anybody on the team to get injured. But, you're not hearing one of the middle six or lower six guys getting injured. It's got to be Nathan MacKinnon. And this is where, against Vancouver, they could really, really, they could always use him, obviously. But to get this power play going, and from all the reports, they were working overtime on the power play in practice. So that they know it's a problem. And we're working on it twofold, because you have to, because it's really not producing anything. And the team you're going up against in Vancouver is horrendous on the penalty kill. This is your opportunity to break through, and it doesn't even matter if you do. If you go 4 for 5 on the power play, people can't sit there and say like, oh, well, it's Vancouver. Vancouver's got a terrible penalty kill. Well, we have a terrible power play. So you can't have it both ways. And something needs to break here between one of these two teams. And I would take the Avalanche improving their power play over a team like Vancouver, than Vancouver improving their penalty kill numbers over a team like the Avalanche and what they could potentially do with their power play. So this is the game where you want to draw penalties and you want to get those goals on the power play, because Vancouver gives them up. They are terrible, terrible. So let's just hope MacKinnon is back and everybody is back to full health, because it would be the first game of the season. The first game of the season, where we go into game number 11, that the Avs will have a fully healthy team. But having said that, that doesn't mean there's other issues that are not going on kind of off the ice, particularly with one of the guys coming back, and Val Nichushkin. A very odd story coming out with things that might have happened 8 years ago, and Val Nichushkin and Russia. So we will get to that in a second, but we are going to hear from Shopify, and the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. In case you don't know, Shopify is a complete commerce platform that lets you start, grow, and manage your business. The subscription-based software allows anyone to set up an online store and sell their products. Shopify store owners can also sell in physical locations using Shopify Point of Sale, which is their POS and accompanying hardware. Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources once reserved for big businesses, so upstarts, startups, and established businesses alike can sell everywhere, synchronize online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed. Scaling your business is a journey of endless possibilities, and Shopify helps you make your entrepreneurial dreams come true. They power over 1.7 million businesses from first sale to full scale, reaching customers online and across social networks with an ever-growing suite of channel integration and apps, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and more. It also allows you to gain insights as you grow with detailed reporting of conversion rates, profit margins, and beyond. So go to shopify.com/lockedonnhl for a free 14-day trial and get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features. Grow your business with Shopify today. That website again, shopify.com/lockedonnhl right now. Once again, shopify.com/lockedonnhl. And also brought to you by Built Bar, the best tasting protein bar on the market. And we have been talking about how the holidays are upon us, and that is a time where people don't really watch too much what they are eating, but you always should be. And it's the perfect time for Built Bar and to incorporate Built Bar into your Thanksgiving dessert. Why not just put a platter of Built Bars out instead of the platters of pies? You'll see the faces of people like, what are these? We're having a Built Bar dessert. I would love it. So you can feast on something delicious and feel good about it. Slice of pie has upwards of 300 calories on the low end, but most Built Bars only 130 calories and only 4 grams of sugar with plenty of protein. They're low calorie, low carb, low fat, and high protein. There's nothing like Built Bar. So go to builtbar.com right now. Use the promo code LOCKED15 and you'll get 15% off of your order. Once again, that promo code is LOCKED15 for 15% off at builtbar.com. Okay. So Val Nichushkin really has reinvigorated his career clearly with the Avalanche. That's been well documented. Dallas basically just gave up on the guy, and Colorado gave him that 1-year deal, kind of like a show me deal. And he did. And he has worked his way up into a top 6 forward. And, it's kind of sad to see him only have played 1 game so far this year, because I think people were expecting him maybe for this to be like his coming out party season. And, there's still a long way to go, and he should be back on Thursday, and hopefully he can play every single game from here on out and can still have that season. But then there's something like this comes out, and it's nothing that will interfere with his NHL standing. Could it interfere with his Olympic standing? It definitely could. So what happened was he gave a blood sample back in 2013 to a lab for the Russian Hockey Federation. And since then, that lab has been shut down, I guess. But they went back and looked at some of their samples in January and February of the 2019. They reanalyzed results. You're not getting a lot of information on what's going on here. All you need to know is he gave a sample in 2013 to the Moscow anti-doping laboratory, and then that shut down in 2019. For whatever reason, they went back and looked at the results. They reanalyzed it, and something popped up on his that was an illegal substance, which would signify he could have been doping. So now he has to. They're saying he has until November 16th to respond. And I guess right now it's just one of those things. Does he want to or not? If he does, he's got to come out and say, yes, it's true, or no, it's not true. And then if he says it's not true, is there an investigation that happens? I don't know. If he says it's true, then there could be some repercussions of that immediately. With, I think, the biggest thing that could happen to him is not being able to play on Russia's Olympic team. So I think for him, it would be, for a lot of these guys, They were the ones, they were vocal about, we want to play in the Olympics. We want to, represent our countries, and that's important to us. So for him, that needs to be the question. How important is it to you to play for your home country? If he's like everybody else in the NHL, he's going to want to do it. So, and then I guess he needs to come out and say, like, no, it's true. Or, I mean, if he says it is true, I mean, is this something that you think he's still doing? I don't think so. Not necessarily. But 2013, that was his rookie season. And they don't really get into, they don't get into it too much about what Russia was doing, why Russia is not looked upon. Like when you see Russia now in the Olympics, it's not it's like Olympic, I can't remember what they call it, like Olympic athletes for Russia. I think it's something to that effect. And it's all based on this stuff that they were doing in this time frame, like blood doping. So was he a part of that? I guess we'll know by November 16th if he wants to come out and, kind of clear his name, or does he stay silent? I mean, that's always an option. If he doesn't really care if he plays for his home country, which I'm sure he does. I'm sure he wants to play for them. But then if he comes out and he says, no, that never happened, then, I mean, they have the sample, but they're not getting into detail on what exactly it is. So then I'm sure there's some other investigation that they have to do to then convict him or not convict him. And I guess the other part of this is this, like I said, this has no effect on his standing in the NHL. But just an interesting story for Nichushkin. His sample from 2013 was being stored in a laboratory. I'm just amazed that they still have it. During the process of reanalyzing results from January and February of 2019, a banned substance was found, and this case was initiated. There are no decisions yet, and nothing has been cleared up. So I'm trying to find out when they actually looked at these, because if they looked at them in 2019 and they're not saying anything until now, that's a little weird. I don't know. Any article you find is very short on details. But you kind of just, you gotta wonder. He was a young kid then, so kind of impressionable, trying to make it. I don't want to say he did or did not do anything, but I don't know. Something to keep an eye on. Again, outside of Avalanche things, but nothing that'll affect him for his standing right now. All right, so the Avalanche did make some other moves. Sent down one prospect, brought up another, and will this be his moment to shine? But first, we're going to talk about betonline.ag, back and better than ever, with a new web interface for the start of the basketball season with more prop bets, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all the basketball and football and hockey action this season. Head to the new updated desktop or mobile website and sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code Locked On to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite sports, and it's where the game starts. That's betonline.ag. So Sampo Ranta gets sent down to the Colorado Eagles while Alex Newhook makes his way back up. I had been behind Ranta. I thought he had played solid. I didn't think he had really gone over like the mountain of really getting to his peak potential. And I wasn't expecting him to do that at any point during the season. What he was doing is kind of what I expected him to do. I wish he got a little bit more time on ice. He started off, I think he started on the second line, and he was there for a while. So to go from, second line, playing on the second line, but he wasn't getting second line minutes. I don't want to say like they used him poorly, but I want to say like they didn't. I feel like they didn't give him enough time. When you have a prospect like that, and not even time in terms of games, times in terms of time on ice. I mean, he was getting most games the lowest time on ice on the team in the 7 to 8 minute range. And excuse me, I just feel like if they had maybe given him maybe like double that, would you still be seeing this? I don't know. I can't say for sure, but I do know I like what I saw in Sampo Ranta. He didn't, there was no egregious errors that he made. But I think what the Avalanche looking for are people to make some plays. And in the end, I think they were looking at it as, we have Sampo Ranta, who's not doing anything horribly, but he's not really pushing the envelope. Or we have a guy who is, just excelling right now in the AHL in Alex Newhook. I think at 11 points in 10 games. Which one do we have more faith in right now? And I think that's what it boiled down to. It boiled down to, do we keep doing, like, how much longer do we go with Ranta doing okay? But the possibility of what Alex Newhook could do now that he's got some time down in the AHL, he's seasoned, maybe built up his confidence that he can score some goals, give some assists. Hopefully, maybe that carries over, spills over into the NHL. And then you send Ranta down. Maybe he does the same thing Newhook was doing down there. And he's scoring more than a point per game. We got injuries every other day. So let him get, a handful of games down there where he's one of the best players on the ice. And then maybe it spills over for him. But so for Ranta, not the end of the world. I liked what I saw in him. I think he has a really bright future with the Avs. I really do. Nobody's going to crack that top 3, obviously, but could he be in that top 6 after this season with a lot of question marks about who's going to be back here for the Avs next year? They're going to have to input and slot in a lot of these prospects at some point. Ranta is definitely one of them. Newhook is another one. So he got a little bit of a taste. And he got thrown into a difficult scenario last year, just getting thrown into the mix right in the middle of the Vegas series as your welcome party. But now he got some regular season time in. And again, I thought he was okay. He made some good moves on the offensive end every once in a while. I thought he was good defensively. He never made a mistake where, where you're slapping your head, like, what are you doing? And we can say that a lot for a lot of the Avs so far this season. I like where Ranta's game and career is headed. I don't have a problem with them sending him down right now because he wasn't, like I said, he wasn't doing anything horribly, but he wasn't doing anything to just put his team and himself over the top. And I think that's what they're hoping they get now that Newhook has been down there for a little while. Bring him back in, slot him in, and hopefully his confidence can take over. And you get that player that you saw glimpses of it last year when he first came up. And he's been on a slow decline since then. And Bednar was not happy with his preseason. But going to the AHL, that's what it's there for. For guys like him to really hone some skills, gain some confidence, and then bring that with you when you do get the call up. He's got to take advantage of it, though. He has to. And now is the time where, the Avs could really use him. Really use somebody like that on the bottom 6 to get those guys going. Because there's been moments where they've looked great, especially depending on who's playing on that 4th line. But it was earlier in the year. I feel like more recently, they've just been nowhere to be found. And we're going back to relying on the top line, who's struggling to do their part as well. So you need everybody buying in right now. Everybody. And why not bring in Newhook, maybe give that third or fourth line, wherever he's going to be, a nice bolt and a nice jolt. I think it's a good move. I think it's a really good move right now. Give him another shot. Let's see what we have. So that will be it for today, everybody. Depending on how Wednesday goes, if I have time, because I have to be up early to catch this flight, and anything happens, if anything big is happening in Avalanche world, I almost have to do a show. I just can't not sit here and not talk about it. So we'll kind of work it around what's going on in the world of the Avs. But if not, and you're going to be at the game on Saturday, shoot me a DM. If you want to meet and shake hands and say hi, I would love to do that. So let me know. Until then, that's going to be it for today. Thank you for making this your first listen of the day. Head on over to Locked On NHL for your second listen of the day. Get caught up on anything going on over there. So that will be it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Always appreciated. And we'll maybe see you tomorrow.